Hello friends, I am Sanyukta and today we are going to be learning another Zentangle pattern called Tipple. Tipple is also an official pattern released by Eric Roberts and Maria Thomas, the founders of the Zentangle method, and it is one of the patterns which if you want to introduce to your kids, it's a really fun pattern, and I would recommend that if you want to introduce this method to your kids, then it should be one of the first patterns to start with, right? So tipple is nothing but this orb, right? This orb shape in Zentangle method is the pattern tipple. So basically it consists of only one elementary stroke, and that is this circle or the orb. As I mentioned in my earlier sessions, if you try to break down any tangle, as we call it in Zentangle method, then they will be made up of mostly 2 or 3 of these elemental strokes drawn in a particular sequence, and tipple is one of the patterns which uses only one of this elemental stroke, and that is the circle. So moving on to our tile, starting with the 4 dots and joining it with a very relaxed hand. I am going to be using a very simple string, drawing with a very light hand an oval shape and a smaller oval shape inside, right? So now we are going to start with the tangle. I am going to draw the series of orbs or round shapes or circles, as you may call it, at the outline. As you can see, I am drawing orbs of different sizes. I am not worrying about the shape either. I may draw orbs trying to fit in the shape that is available to me. Some big, some smaller. You may choose to draw all the orbs of the same size or varying sizes. In this style, I am drawing orbs of different sizes, right? As you can see, it's in front of you. I'm not trying to make perfect circles. At times, I'm trying to fit in the orb in the space that is available to me, right? Tipple is nothing but a cluster of these orbs. Very simple and fun pattern. Kids generally find it very exciting because it's very easy and fun to draw. Keep rotating your tile so that your hand is comfortable. I'm going to be drawing this series of orb shapes. Of varying sizes. More or less around the string that I have drawn. So tipple is one of the patterns, as I mentioned, which consists of only one elemental stroke, and that is the circle or the orb. Most of these Zentangle patterns contain 2 or 3 elemental strokes drawn in a particular sequence. And that is what differentiates a tangle from any other pattern, right? So now we are going to draw a third line. As you can see, I am slowly and gradually reducing the size of the orbs. It is entirely up to you. You may choose to retain the same size. You may choose to retain one shape, that's perfect circle or a round shape, or you can draw it in the manner I am drawing it, right? So you can see these small little spaces that are left in between the intersectices, the intersection points, right? You can either choose to fill up those intersections with black ink, or if you wish, you can fill in smaller orbs, if possible, into those spaces. So I am trying to move from larger orbs to gradually smaller orbs. Generally, a cluster of tipple looks like, pebbles on a seashore or inside an aquarium or something like that. Depends on how you are drawing it, what kind of a string have you used. So the look can vary depending on the arrangement. You can use tipple as a primary tangle on your tile, but tipple also acts as an excellent filler. So it's a very widely used, comes very easy as a filling tangle. Right? Many times it is also used as a tangle enhancer. So once you have drawn the main tile, drawn the major tangles, a tipple here and there enhances the look of the tangle. It becomes an integral part of it, right? So you can fill up the entire space, or if you wish, as you can see, I am reducing the size gradually, and maybe I would leave a little space empty. Yeah. So in the remaining area, I would draw tipples as if they are flying away from the main. Not exactly bubbles, but yeah, breaking away from the main and going here and there. Right. that's about it. So that's the tangle tipple. Now we are going to learn how to shade it. So here are 4 orbs that I have drawn. There are various ways. Again, there is no standard rule. We generally don't think about the light source and the shadow and direction when we are shading in the Zentangle method. So I can either add a C, inverted C or smiley kind of a shape at one end, a little distance from the border, and then just spread it. Or I can do it at the lower end, just draw a C kind of shape or a smiley you can call, and just spread it. You may choose to shade it this way, or you can add a border inside and just blend it in. Right? Sometimes you also draw a ring kind of thing inside the tipple like this, and then you shade it. So as to leave a highlight here. Right? If you want, you can also shade one side of it. It's entirely up to you. Like this, right? Going from dark to light. So these are some of the ways you can shade the tipple. In this case, I am going to be shading the larger ones, the larger orbs, from one corner, right? And the other ones I am going to be shading the tangle as a whole. So just adding a little graphite on one of the corners. On the larger orbs, right? I'm going to blend it in. Just like in the tangle floors, the squares popped up like buttons. The same kind of effect comes in case of tipple also, right? So we have individually shaded some of the bigger ones. Yeah. And now I am going to be adding some graphite to the inside. trying to shade the tangle as a whole. The darker portions seem to be receding, and the center, which is left lighter, pops up, right? So now I am going to be blending this, pulling the graphite from the darker areas and spreading it to the lighter area. Slowly moving closer to the space that I left behind. I think I left one or two. Yeah. Pulling the graphite slowly towards the center, but not covering the center exactly, so that the high and low contrast is visible, right? Yes. So now you can see that there's small little spaces left. You can fit in small orbs there. If you wish. You can also color those spaces. Right? So I am choosing to fit in small orbs there. And then we ink the border. Because I want to color the rest of the portion, right? So what I have done is I have inked I think I am going to pick up my Micron 08. And slowly I am going to ink the rest of the space, leaving aside the orbs that I have drawn, right? Yeah, like that. So this is the tile. Once you finish the inking, and I have filled up all the spaces with blank ink wherever there is no tipple. So after you have inked the tile, this is the finish effect, and I am now going to be initialing my tile. Take a moment to appreciate your tile and the opportunity that this Zentangle method gives you to create such a beautiful tile, right? So I am now going to sign and date my tile. So this is the Tangle pattern tipple, and you can come up with your own version depending on the string that you use. The look of the tangle absolutely varies as per the string or as per the size or as per the shape. For example, you can see here the look of the tangle. Here I have used more or less circle shapes. Here the shape varies as per the space that is available, and if you ink the intersections, then this is the look that you get, right? So we will see you with another Zentangle official pattern in the next session. Till then, goodbye.